Today on Rappler. The 22nd ASEAN Summit opens Wednesday in Brunei. First up, maritime disputes with China. The Philippine government deploys extra troops to protect candidates after a series of communist rebel attacks. And the United Nationalist Alliance slams the Aquino administration over the latest poverty statistics. Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. Southeast Asian leaders meet in Brunei Wednesday for the annual summit of the 10-member Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN. The bloc is expected to tackle maritime disputes with China on the resource-rich South China Sea. ASEAN members Brunei, Malaysia, the Philippines, and Vietnam claim parts of this area. In July 2012, an ASEAN foreign ministers meeting ended without a joint communique because of divisions over how to handle the issue. The Philippines and Vietnam wanted the communique to make specific reference to their disputes with China. But Cambodia, hosts of the talks and a close China ally, blocked the moves. According to a draft statement obtained by AFP, ASEAN leaders will make a united call in the 2013 summit for talks with China on the issue through, quote, friendly consultations in accordance with universally recognized principles of international law. The Philippines is expected to push for the creation of a code of conduct on the South China Sea at the summit. Foreign Affairs spokesperson Raul Hernandez earlier said ASEAN already agreed on elements to be included in the COC and only China's approval is needed to formalize the agreement. ASEAN leaders will also talk about deeper economic integration within the bloc and with other countries in the region. Voting 331 to 225, France's lower house National Assembly adopts a bill legalizing same-sex marriage and adoptions for gay couples Tuesday. The bill's approval comes after months of opposition protests. Justice Minister Christian Sabira says it is a, quote, historic moment in French history, adding, this law brightens the horizons of many of our citizens who were deprived of these rights. Shortly after the vote, lawmakers from right-wing parties filed an appeal with the Constitutional Council to strike down the law. The council will have a month to make a ruling. The bill must still be signed by President Francois Hollande. The Philippine government deploys 500 extra troops to protect candidates for next month's elections after communist rebels ramp up armed attacks. Presidential spokesperson Edwin Lacierda says the New People's Army is attacking soft targets, including politicians, to blackmail them into paying for, quote, permits to campaign without interference. Lacierda says, quote, you want to challenge us? Go ahead, make our day. Lacierda tells the candidates, quote, there's only one armed forces and we will protect you. On Saturday, the NPA ambushed Ruthie Gingona, the wife of former Vice President Gingona, the 78-year-old mayor of Ginoog City, killing 2 of her aides and injuring her and 2 policemen. After the ambush, the NPA warned politicians to ask for permission before campaigning in their strongholds. The NPA steps up its attacks in Mindanao Tuesday, lobbing a grenade at a police station and kidnapping a soldier in separate incidents. Malacanang says Election Day, May 13th, is a non-working holiday. In a statement, Malacanang says the president wishes to enable the Filipino people to exercise their right to suffrage. We enjoin all eligible to use this non-working holiday to participate in the electoral process. An estimated 52 million Filipinos are eligible to vote in the 2013 senatorial and local elections. Commission on Election spokesman James Jimenez will not be able to vote in the May 13th polls. In an interview Wednesday, Jimenez says his registration was deactivated because he didn't vote in the 2 previous elections. He also didn't register for local absentee voting. Though he heads the COMELEC's information department, Jimenez says he didn't know his registration was deactivated. He adds, I thought I was still active. It's a common mistake that a lot of people make. The United Nationalist Alliance uses the newest data on poverty to attack the administration's, quote, spin that the economy is improving. In a press statement, UNA campaign manager Toby Chanco responds to the National Statistical Coordination Board report showing poverty incidence in the first semester of 2012 is virtually unchanged from the same periods in 2006 and 2009. UNA says the data shows the administration's efforts to trumpet the 6.6% economic growth in 2012, quote, is starkly juxtaposed with reality. Chanco says, what happened? Didn't they say the economy's improving? Here we are. Why are many still poor? UNA candidates Nancy Binay and Cagayan Representative Jack Enriquez say the government must focus on the agriculture sector to alleviate poverty. A day after the release of the figures, the palace says government will create jobs and programs to increase the productivity of farmers. National Anti-Poverty Commission Chair Joel Rocamora says it will take more than one administration to alleviate poverty. He adds, it's going to take a long time for problems of inequality to be dealt with, but it doesn't mean that this government has not done anything. Sports teaches valuable lessons to athletes. This track runner from NCR learns getting up from a fall is just as important as winning. Devin Wong reports.
For all the hours athletes train for their sports, these final moments are bittersweet. The preparations and hard work of strict athletic discipline ends within minutes. One race determines everything, and seconds can mean the difference between pain and glory. For Marilyn Avila, this is her last shot before she graduates. She's a veteran at Palarong with 3 games under her belt. But she's never won a single medal for an individual event.
Sa laro po lang, hindi po laging panalo. Kailangan po rin po natatalo para mas lalo pa po nating lalakasan yung loob natin.
Marilyn's outlook is positive, but this Palarong hasn't been kind to this young athlete. Marilyn had a tough first run earlier in the competition when she tripped during her 100-meter hurdles. She picked herself up to finish the race, but was knocked over again by another athlete.
Nanghihinayang po kasi po matagal po ako nag-training, tapos ganun lang po yung mangyayari.
Marilyn goes into her last day of competition with wisdom from years of relentless training. There are only 3 medals awarded at each event. Divided by the number of hours that each athlete takes to train for Palarong, the odds are slim. But these games aren't just a test of athletics for these young athletes. It's a test of attitude. Perseverance wins both on and off the field, and all athletes at Palarong gain skills that take them beyond the arena. The medals may be the glory, but the pain builds character. Devin Wong, Rappler, Dumaguete.
In Day 3 of Palarong Pambansa 2013, NCR's Regina Castrillo continues to shine. Castrillo races her way to 3 more gold medals while breaking 2 more records in the swimming competition. Central Luzon's Rafael Barreto also wins his 3rd gold medal. He sets his 2nd record of the competitions as records continue to fall in swimming halfway through the games. Playoffs in the basketball and volleyball tournaments begin tomorrow. Defending champs boys basketball and girls volleyball NCR remain unbeaten after the elimination round. NCR is still leading big in the medal tally with 88 medals, 45 of them gold. Western Visayas is 2nd with 37, while Calabar Zone hosts Central Visayas and Central Luzon round out the top 5 with 27, 25, and 22 medals respectively. The 2 boxers who beat Manny Pacquiao in 2012 are set to face each other in September. Promoter Bob Arum confirms Juan Manuel Marquez will be taking on undefeated boxer Timothy Bradley. The WBO welterweight crown is on the line, the title Bradley took from Pacquiao in a split decision back in June 2012. The deal pushes back plans for a possible 5th fight between Pacquiao and Marquez. Pacquiao, who lost to Marquez in December, wants to fight Marquez in Macau. But Arum is not convinced the Pacquiao-Marquez fight staged in Asia will generate strong pay-per-view revenue. Well, let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 3, President Barack Obama meets with Qatari Emir Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani at the White House Tuesday to discuss the Syrian crisis. Obama says the U.S. is cooperating closely with Qatar and other countries to find an end to the slaughter in Syria and remove Bashar al-Assad as president. Obama adds they also hope to, quote, strengthen an opposition that can bring about a democratic Syria. At number 4, Hackers break into the Associated Press's Twitter account, which falsely reports President Barack Obama was injured after 2 blasts at the White House. A tweet on the news agency's @AP account read, "Breaking! 2 explosions in the White House and Barack Obama is injured." Almost immediately, the wire service says on its corporate communications feed that its @AP Twitter account was hacked before promptly suspending the service. AP is working with Twitter to investigate the breach while the FBI is doing its own investigation. Online activists backing the regime of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad claim responsibility for the hack. And at number 9, Apple's quarterly profit dips for the first time in nearly a decade despite a rise in revenue from the same period a year earlier. The company posts a profit of $9.5 billion in the first 3 months of this year, compared to a profit of $11.6 billion in the same quarter in 2012. The number of iPhones and iPads sold in the quarter rose, but the profit it makes from its devices shrank to 37.5% from 47.5%. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. Every story on Rappler has a mood meter, which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click how you feel and your vote comes down to the mood navigator in the middle of the front page. That crowdsources the mood of the day. It also gives you the top 10 stories that have affected our readers emotionally. These are the stories that have gotten the most number of votes on their mood meter. If we take a look today, very colorful day. This blue is amused, Nancy Binay. Parody on Sun is the most hurtful. Nancy Binay did very well in the last SWS survey. There's 55% amused in this. We also have on the NPA the story now, Who Rules? Not the Rebels, say Aquino, 79% happy, 13% angry. A special report by at Jambalaya, Samar's Long Wait for Salvation, 85% angry. The story with the most number of votes for the day is this one. Still, Binay, Villar break into the top 3, a whopping 84% angry and 3% happy. The green comes together today. Most people are happy. Well, that's Rappler's Newscast for today, Wednesday, April 24, 2013. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.